Hello, what's happening? Hope we're all good. Thanks for all your support. Okay, so a little story about when I first landed in Chiang Mai Central Prison. Yeah. I got arrested. Initially, I'm in a cell. The cell's dark. I remember, a few ties sitting in there and they were off the cake on yabba, crystal meth. I'm blitzed on other narcotics. I've got a bag full of goodies from the chemist that the police took me to. And when I got the medication, I went to the cells. A hand came through the bars with this brown bag full of drugs. I'm not messing, I couldn't believe it. It doesn't happen in a prison in the UK. So they gave me all my medication. Right now, I'm in a cell, I've got my medication. I've also got, a number of tablets, yabba tablets plugged. Nice little bit of tight stick plugged. I've got no paraphernalia, to make these, to get this on the go. These size, one pulls out a lighter, one pulls out a bit of foil from a chewing gum wrap, and we set up a little thing to get the yabba on the go. I get called by the police to go and get my fingerprints taken, right? But before they come for me to take my fingerprints, I've had a load of diazes, diazepam, I've had Xanax. They gave me loads of methadone because I bought loads. You can get that concentrated green stuff, proper thick as you like. You only need a little bit, and I took about 20-30 mils of that. Goes to get me fingerprints taken. That's all I remember, by the way. Getting up, going up the cell, and the rest is history. I woke up 11 hours later, right, with these two ties, because I'd had all these tablets out, by the way, and they were like sorting it out while I was getting my fingerprints taken. I came back, yeah, and these two ties were sitting there like meerkats. Proper wired off the cake. I'm like, what's going on? Where's the tablets? Don't speak a word of English. One of them's got this leather waist jacket that I don't know where I got it from. I must have robbed it from somewhere. It was a leather waistcoat with tassels on, with an eagle on the back. It just looked cool. You can imagine like walking through Thailand with this leather waistcoat, armless, with your arms and your biceps flashing like that, waiting for Aki to turn up. And I had that, and he had it on. Thinking, what's he got that on for? He said, you give me. I was like, lad, I never gave you none. Where's the tablets? Where have they gone? There was one left. I think he had about 20 plugged. They must have just channed a lot. Slotted a few. I don't know what's happened. I'm fuming. The brown bag was right next to me. They hadn't sussed anything in there. So I was really grateful. And that was probably, I was more concerned about that in the end, because that was going to keep me, well, in a sense where I wouldn't be withdrawing very rapidly. I'd have something to soften the blow. So, anyway, fuming, there's nothing I can do. We all go to the same jail, Chiang Mai Central Prison. Go through the gates. My initial reception is, got a pair of brand new tracksuit bottoms on, a t-shirt, pair of black Adidas trainees. Can't remember what they were called. Right. The Japanese ones. Right. Anyway, lost me thinking on that one. White trees, there you go. Pair of white trees, pair of black white trees, boxer shoes. Goes in. First thing they did was line us up. Right, you've got to squat. I'm thinking, loads of tablets plugged, squatting, nothing's happening. It's all good. My arsehole's flapping, think it's going to come on top. They take me pants off me. They look at them and said, only shorts. Cut the legs right off. I think, I just bought them. Fuming. Sends me to this compound, get a shower, strips off. I'm in this compound, and I see this water that's absolutely freezing. It's about 9 o'clock at night. There's a thick film of dirt on top of it. There's flies hovering above it. You can see dirty soap and dirty flesh and pubes and everything in there. And you get, next thing they blow a whistle, and all the sides they grab on these little bowls and washing themselves. What the fuck? Better grab a bowl, start washing myself. gives myself a little scrub down. It's absolutely cold, shivering, because the temperature's dropped. I'm in the north of Thailand, by the way. It's not the hottest part of Thailand. It's quite cool, especially overnight. We sit down, and 5 of us are surrounding this little plate full of sticky rice, and then you bring out this cold, stinking soup, and it's got all kinds of feet and everything in it. Chicken feet, and just like you just chop up chickens and throw the whole lot in, and you're just eating anything, heads, feet, hands. Anyway, it was horrible. Next step goes to the pad, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I walked in, it was a sea of bodies on the floor. It looked like a tin of sardines. I walked in, I was acting tough and brave, but I was scared at the same time. I looked around, everyone was scanning at me. I was the only Western face that was in that room. I got ushered and ordered to lie down in the corner next to this guy who died, and I've shared this before. He died the day before. He couldn't move. It was a bank holiday. He was going on Monday. This lady boy called Tiffany, boob tube on, little t-shirt saying "No money, no honey." I thought, ooh, fucking glad I'm getting to here, He just kept staring at me. Then he said, "I like your blue eye." At first I fell flattered. I did. "I like your blue eye." I thought, oh mate, you don't like the brown one. Not my cup of tea, this, He had a pair of denim shorts on with the big mad balls, airy legs, airy arms, and a massive pair of boobs. Pockmark face. It was wasn't my, wasn't the best reception I'd received. Moving forward, right, I'm going to the toilet. Right, my stomach's all over the gaff. I've had this little bit of tea, and I swear, mate, the toilet's right was like a hole in the ground. Next to the toilet was like a black bin, like a proper dustbin, with a little tube with water dripping out. A little bowl on top of that. It was full halfway. That was I was thinking, what's okay? So where's the toilet roll? I'm squatting on this hole in the ground, right, like the Thais do. Not a proper toilet, and I'm going, where's the toilet roll? Right, but while I'm like squatting, there's a little wall, so I comes up to your like waist level, and everyone's just staring at me. I've got the runs, proper going for it, and it stinks. And you've got the Thais looking at me going, keep in. I didn't know what it meant, but I know it means your shit stinks. So obviously, it's not going to smell of roses. So I was like, where's the toilet roll? Toilet roll, no toilet roll. Water. Thinking, what, mate? I've got to wash my ass with a bit of water. I've never done that in my life, right? Ever. Had a shower. Keep it simple. My ass is full of like turds, and I've got to wash it. This bowl, I haven't got any idea. I've got it underneath me, and I'm thinking, what you do now? You just, because it's awkward, you're trying to like throw it up. So what you do, you've got to like flash it like a dog. Start splash. You're making waves. This is what we're on forever, and swilling it. I thought, I can't cope with this. You know what I mean? You've got the Thais looking at you every time you go for a turd. You've got to wash it with water. It goes out through the day. It goes into the compound. There's thousands of people. It's like coming out of Goodison Park or Anfield, where there's just crowds of people, and you've got to navigate your way through, the prison and dodging people, and there's bums constantly asking you for bifters, especially if you're foreigner. Cigarette, and you're just all day long just winding you up, begging you for things. And overnight you go back to pad about 6 o'clock. You're in the stinking heat all day long. It's horrible. You're eating the swill that they offer you. It's like Chiang Mai noodles which stink again. You're getting no cakes, no duffs, no nothing. This is hardcore. You go to toilets and they stink of ammonia. There's everyone getting bummed in the toilets. They make little tents, they're all goosing each other. All the size of like made mad operations on the penises. They just cut them up. It was a mad fad. They just chop the penis up. It looks like a flower. They stitch it together. They throw ball bearings in it. They inject it with Vaseline and gel, and they've got a sausage on them about that big, right? Probably because they feel insecure about the size of it. But I was like, this is heavy, this, mate. This is like something out of like, a horror movie. Every night you get back to pad, you know, you couldn't speak English, they couldn't speak Thai, you know, and or you couldn't speak English, you couldn't speak Thai, they couldn't speak English. So it was like the communication barrier was very difficult to get through. It was like a game of charades. Put a cup on and go gow. So I learned put past the Thai Chiang Mai. Gab something I lam back na cup. Tamalai, Utalai, Chualai. Hung your night cap. So I learned to speak Thai. Also, bit of time. But yeah, when I learned and I found out what they were saying, it caused more problems than it was worth. You know, because you understood they were calling me all kinds of, you know, names. Like, the biggest insult you could call someone in Thailand was a buffalo, seriously. Not a dickhead, not a bellend, not a sausage. It was, ai chwai. I went, mate, what's he calling me there? He's calling you a buffalo. I said, a buffalo? He said, lowest insult in Thailand. I said, it doesn't make a blind bit of difference to me. You can call me what you want. So it didn't really affect me, but yeah, ai chwai, buffalo was the lowest form of insult, you know. It meant you were just like, you know, a thick, dumb animal. Yeah, being called worse, by the way. Anyway, overnight, this is like the routine. In the mornings when we get up, right, you're doing a, you know, you've got to stand to attention while they play the national anthem. There was this Australian called Bill. He'd got 2 years for shooting some fella in a bar, mate. And he was crying about it. He got 2 years for murder. Like, what? And he was like proper moaning. And he'd lived in Thailand for years. He had a beret, right? He was a proper like old school soldier from back in the day. And he had this beret. And he'd stand there like that every morning with that da 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 da. That goes through my head. That it's still like reverberates around my mind constantly. That Thai national anthem. He was proper like, you know, going for it. So you'd have the Thai national anthem, you'd have to get through the day overnight, you'd have another, you know, another national anthem. It was a different national anthem overnight. The Thais then would pull out a rented fanny mag, a porn mag, right, that they'd rent from the ladyboys or whoever, because everyone was selling wares and tears and touting everything, you know, you'd buy anything out there, bits of food, bits of like kanom, which was sweets, fanny mags, oh, anything, pair of jeans, you could get anything you wanted, blankets. No, I never had no dough, so I used to buy a blanket once a month, yeah, to make a bed. So it took me about 6 months to get about 6 blankets together. Then I had to pay a ladyboy to stitch it together. Then I had to roll it up and walk around with it most of the day, because otherwise it'd be robbed. That was your bed. You had your bed with you all day long. Yeah, you'd have to stash it so no one would graft it on you. You go back to pad, right? I'd be lying there, and because I couldn't communicate with them, you know, on a level that we could understand each other, I'd just lie there. And then once the whistle blew, because the whistle blows at 9 o'clock, and everyone's got a nip, quiet. Then there's a little bit of a paper comes out, a list, like a tick list, and everyone's in a queue. All these Thais, must be about 50 of them, right? Waiting, all squatting, right, at the toilet, sharing this one fanny mag. And all you can hear is them slapping away, knocking one out. And I'm thinking, oh, these are blasting one off. Oh, that's absolutely filth, you know. I just, you know, I think, and then after like 6 months, I think I might get on that sick list, you know, get in that queue. So because like you get to that stage where you just become a part of it. It's weird, you know, you're ingrained in that way of life, and you know, and year after year, you know, you just become normalised of seeing people getting shaved in the neck and people getting slaughtered in front of me, and you know, getting raped in the shelves next door. And it was like, wow, this is something, you know, like I said, out of a horror movie. You couldn't invent this stuff. And that's just why when I wrote my book, A Prayer Before Dawn, you know, I felt it. You know, I don't believe someone else can write your story. You need to write your own story. You know, because what you put on paper is all your feelings, all your fears. you know, all your hopes, all your dreams, you pour it out, you know, and it's very therapeutic, and it's, you know, it becomes to fruition, and people can identify it and relate to the honesty. So yeah, that was me. That was a bit. That was probably the first week experience. If you want to hear more stories like that, let me know, and I'll definitely share them. Appreciate you supporting me as well. Thank you very much.